Stop sending beats through email. Stop sending beat packs out through Dropbox and Google Drive. Why? Because the new way to sell beats is right here. There's a very viral clip right now going around showing a producer loading up beats on his iPhone and then handing that iPhone full of beats to big recording artists, everyone from Big Sean and Megan Thee Stallion to Ty Dolla $ign. The Ty Dolla $ign video is probably the one that went the most viral. And a bunch of producers in the comment section are saying this is the new way to sell beats in 2025. I don't know. Is it just content or does this actually work? We brought it up on the podcast. I wanted to know what Damon Aaron thought. What do you think? Is a rapper more likely to listen to your beats if you handed them an expensive iPhone or even an Android at, they still cost hundreds, if not $1,000+ full of beats, rather than asking for an email address, sending beats to a manager, sending beats to an A&R, handing a zip, that kind of thing? I think the answer is more complicated than we think, but I want to know what you think. Also, appreciate you for tuning in to the new podcast. The channel is linked below. My Patreon is linked below too if you want access to the private Discord server. We're collaborating on beats, discussing the music business, doing all types of cool stuff there. All right. Putting beats on an iPhone. This clip of giving Ty Dolla $ign his beats, but via an iPhone. And so he's explaining.
How do you afford to just give people phones?
Well, it's not an iPhone 16. It's a little older, so I can swing it, So I just keep it clean, keep it professional. And
how many phones you got on you, bro?
Just like 3. I got 3.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So this was a viral moment. This producer gave Ty Dolla $ign an iPhone full of beats. And, it was a cool viral moment and everyone's like, oh my God, this could be the future. This is what producers should be doing. And I'm like, hold on a second. Hold on. Let's chill. This guy also has given many other celebrities phones for beats, phones full of beats. He gave Ty Dolla $ign an iPhone full of beats. He gave Megan Thee Stallion an iPhone full of beats. He gave, I dove into his TikTok because I wanted to listen to his beats. I wanted to check out to see what the impact of these videos were. And maybe at this point it's too early because this happened just a couple months ago. Maybe it's too early. I don't know. But the content is doing well. His content, at least these pieces of content with the phone, they're doing well. His other content isn't doing great. I don't know why. It's actually, I like it better. It's like, he's a multi-instrumentalist, vocalist, music producer. So he has a ton of talent. He showcases it in these pieces of content, these short form videos. But the stuff that blows up is this, him handing Megan Thee Stallion a phone. I think, Aaron, you had a reaction to this.
Yeah, you can tell how uncomfortable Ty Dolla $ign is with it. Like, you're giving the phones to the wrong people. Give them to his, maybe not even in Ty Dolla $ign's situation, manager. You should be figuring out who his engineer is. Because Ty Dolla $ign is somebody who probably works with the same 1 to 2 engineers because they like the way that they make their voice sound. You should be finding Future's engineer. You should be finding, Meg Thee Stallion's vocal producer. You know what I'm saying? Like, going straight to them, one, they're going to lose it. If y'all have never worked with an artist, what? Especially an artist on that level. Like, they need somebody to hold their credit cards. They need somebody. They just lose shit. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're doing. They're just there on a vibe. And this is no disrespect to Ty Dolla $ign. I don't know him. I'm not saying that he is slow or anything. I'm just saying artist. But 2 Chainz talked about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, artists just be like, they need a lot of help.
Everyone does it. I need help. My girlfriend needs help. I put stuff in her purse all the time. She puts shit in my pockets. It just is what it is.
I lose stuff perpetually. When I travel, I have to travel with somebody or be traveling to somebody because I need help. Yes. That's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking anybody. But when you go to that level of celebrity and they're not even packing their own suitcases and stuff, you handing somebody an iPhone as something else for them to keep up with and then take to their next studio session and then listen through your beats is actually asking for a lot more labor. I hate when people send me money or music. Send me money. I hate when people send me music because you're asking me for my time. I don't want to listen to your music. I would love to discover it, come across it. I'm always Shazamming stuff because I love new music, but I don't want you to send it to me because it just feels like you're asking me to work and then give you a response. But with the beats, I feel like it puts him in a weird position because you're making this content. Clearly he's mic'd up because he's being shot from across the room. So it's like you're more, and I think it's creative. I think artists should get creative. I'm not saying that he should stop this, but it's like, again, this is about being embedded into the culture. If you really understand how artists move, how the industry moves, how resistant people, because this is another thing. 2 Chainz said years ago, he said, I don't take hard drives, flash drives, none of that. Because he said he used to not take, like, yo, let me send you a beat. And then he'd be like, no, I don't take beat submissions anymore because people started saying I was stealing their stuff or that my producer referenced something that they had sent me. So he said, I don't give out my email. So then people started giving him flash drives. He's like, do you understand that this could have a virus on it? Like, I'm 2 Chainz. Like, this is my whole life on my computer. Like, I don't want your flash drive, whatever. And so people were like, well, how can we get you beats? He was like, you just can't at this point. The best way is to collaborate with one of the producers that I trust and then for them to deliver me a beat. And I wish more people would think pragmatically about that. Like, let me just look in. If you don't know what a celebrity or a reputable artist is going through, start looking through their team and listening to their team's interviews and things like that. You'll get a better return on your investment if you know what the people around them, how they function, and maybe going directly to them. And this is not to say harass managers. I'm just saying it's a cool attention grab, but I don't think it's actually going to render a result of him landing a placement with a major artist. I think he should be building with people around him and maybe trying to get to the bigger person's team member as a content piece and just keep working on his music, you know?
Well, now we're at the point where people are getting harassed. Producers who work with rappers are just getting inundated with let's work, I got loops, let's work, it's almost to the point where, and I'm not saying I don't do this, and I'm not saying there isn't a productive way to do this. I'm just saying that sort of strategy is very much saturated.
Well, Aaron, you may not be telling him to stop this, but I'm going to tell him to stop this. I think it's stupid. What am I going to do with a phone? Like, I got a phone. Like, I got a second heavy phone in my pocket. Like, I don't like a lot of shit in my pocket. And what do you think he doesn't know you from Adam. You think he's going to go through, gigabytes worth of beats just to find something? Like, don't you think he already has a shitload of producers that are very well capable of making
We're
beats?
building sounds around him with live bands and real instruments.
Yeah, this is a content play. I'll give you a half a point for trying to do something different, but I think you should do something different again. Pivot away from this. This is just absolutely stupid, in my opinion. Like,
And it is
he probably tried it once and it blew up, and then say that again.
It's his best performing content. I'll list down the celebrities. He did Megan Thee Stallion, Ty Dolla $ign, Big Sean, Pink Pantherist, David, a couple others. Who is this? The Slump God. He gave one to Ski Mask, the Slump God. He has access to people. I think he must have money because he interviewed George Lopez.
He definitely has money because he's giving away iPhones, Payne. That's another thing I was about to say.
Yeah.
This sounds like a guy who has a decent tech job or has a decent job and can afford to go pay for VIP access or pull up to these parties with an iPhone. I don't mind the content, Dame, as long as he had an actual sales funnel. If you know it's never going to happen for Ty Dolla $ign, but the very next video I'm posting is super solid with my beats, so now people want to collab with me, I think that that's okay. But I'm with you. After a while, the amount of people you named, Payne, it just seems desperate. So now, even if I was interested in something, I'm like, nah, you're doing this for an attention grab.
Well, I'll say this. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
If it's for content purposes, maybe okay. But I would imagine that these phones are refurbished. They don't really cost that much, or maybe he found them or whatever. If he's paying full price for the iPhone, it would be more effective for him to just go up to Ty Dolla $ign and be like, look, here's a link to 3 beats. Here's $500. Check them out when you get a chance. Ty would probably check out. It's more likely.
Not for $500. Go to his manager or engineer with that.
they're more likely to check out those beats than to, mess around on an iPhone. Like, I'm just not carrying that iPhone. So
Can I just say, Aaron,
And you
I
don't
like
know if
the
it's recording you. There's so many things there.
it's creepy, or can be. I like the vintage look of your camera being a little blurry and grainy. I try to achieve that with Photoshop sometimes, and I just can't get it right the way it's looking. And the couch it kind of has a nostalgic feel. But that being said, I think how this could work is, one, if the content blows up, maybe it gets back to the artist, and they could, because remember there was this producer named Batman that was labeling all his beats J. Cole type beat. J. Cole finally searched his name up and did a freestyle to one of his beats. So if there's enough attention, I mean, rappers like viral content too. So if me giving Ty Dolla $ign a iPhone full of beats goes viral enough, and it's like damn near 500,000 on TikTok, what if that hit 2-3 million? Ty Dolla $ign might say, you know what, let me capitalize on this attention, give the people a follow-up. So I'm going to record a song to one of his beats. It might not come out.
I think he's the wrong person for that.
Well, he might be. Big Sean would be the right person.
Yeah, Big Sean is, for sure.
But it's also, I think there's a psychology behind this trick where it's like you give someone something valuable, right? Because Ty Dolla $ign asked, how do you afford to do this? That was one of the questions he asked. And the guy's like, oh, well, they're not the 16. Like, bitch, your iPhone is an iPhone. They're expensive no matter what. You get one of these old ass iPhones, it's still a couple $100. I'm not spending a couple $100 on a flash drive that I'm just going to hand off to someone and they're going to lose it. So I'm not doing that with an iPhone. That's just me. I'm not also getting 500,000 views on all my TikToks. So maybe it's a trade-off. Maybe the guy is in phone repair. That's how he has all the money to afford this stuff. I don't know. I think the psychology is give someone some value and they think, okay, now I kind of owe this guy something. I think the opposite is true in most cases. They don't care and maybe they feel like, oh, this guy's trying to guilt trip me. I don't know. I overthink these things. So I wouldn't do this, but I can see it potentially working. I can see potentially the size of the iPhone being a benefit. Probably not, but it's there and you can't avoid it. You can lose a flash drive. You're probably not going to lose an iPhone if you've committed to carrying it around. And then thirdly, it's like a memorable interaction with someone. So maybe they'll remember you more than the guy. Cause like I remember it was DJ Drama. Shout out to DJ Drama. I saw him 3 times. I gave him a CD each time. He lost the CD each time. Never worked with DJ Drama. And I'm not saying if he had kept the CD, I'd be his main producer. I'm just saying this is the reality of, because I met him once, was at the Atlantic Records office. He's doing things. Once was when he was on tour. He's doing things. Once was at like South by. He's doing things. It's different if I go to his house with the CD. He's not going to lose it in his own house, but he's traveling. All of these videos are of backstage interactions or like on the way out of the event interactions. Megan Thee Stallion looks like she's behind a barricade. Probably not the best. I learned. I always thought pulling up to shows, handing artists, rappers my beats, that's the way to go. It's not. That never worked for me. I don't know if it's ever worked for anybody.
You know how many CDs, flash drives, whatever, my artist, unknown celebrities would get handed on tour dates. They'd hand it straight to me. They'd never ask about it again. I would dispose of it. Bracelets, pictures, whatever. Sometimes they'd be like, yo, keep this, don't throw this away. But like all day, every day, they were getting handed stuff when they were on tour. So imagine somebody like Meg Thee Stallion or Ty Dolla $ign. I just think it's foolishness.
Yes. When we were on tour, like when people would hand us their CDs, like sometimes I would listen just because we would be hopping right back in the van. And if we'd have them, we'd have nothing else to do. Like we might listen to a few. They were never good, but yeah, I don't. What's this cat's Instagram? What's his Instagram?
Kale Didion, I want to say.
Wait, how do you spell that?
Kale Didion, CaelDadian. He's got a ton of content. He makes a lot of music. I'm envious of the talent and the content strategy. I'm not like, I don't know. When the content was first dropping, there were a lot of producers because I think people just want opportunities. So they see other people going viral and they're like, oh, I'm about to start doing that. And it's like, well, look for results too. Does he have a placement with any of these artists yet? No. I think there's a small chance that he does get something with them though, because the content is doing well. Will it be worth the investment of getting all these phones and creating the content and paying to pull up to these shows or whatever it is? I think he invested a lot in this content. Time will tell. Time will tell.
These days, you got to protect yourself. You let somebody give you an iPhone, it might be tracking your movement, where you at.
That's why I'm like, because you don't know if it's recording your conversations, if it's a tracking device. There's no way. iPhones already track all your movements. So it's like, I just, for me, I would never take that. So I could only imagine a celeb. Do you know what I'm saying?